Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're continuing our playthrough of League of Dungeoneers. Our brave adventurers made it through their first real adventure outside of the brigand attack that was the tutorial of the game. Our adventure opened in the small town of Freyfell, and after we were able to help the city rid themselves of these giant rats and this brood mother, they also noticed that the dead were beginning to rise up and attack, and they said that we must travel to the capital city of Silver City. Now before we do, we can go to the city of Freyfell, and we can actually do some of the services there before we decide to leave. Now remember, however many services we do there, we do have to stay at the inn for that night and pay the 25 gold. Then once we start leaving the city and move out into the countryside, we no longer have to pay that gold to stay at the inn. So there's might not want to do too many things. I'm guessing we might just kind of want to do shopping, and that might be about it because there's not much more to do here before we travel down the road. Now if you're excited to see if our brave adventurers can continue their journey through the world of League of Dungeoneers, then I need you to meet me at the table. Just to remind you, Freyfell is the largest port in the southern part of the kingdom. For those not up to a carriage ride all the way from North Silver City, the natural travel route south is to go by boat to Freyfell. Here are the services. There is an arena in town, but I don't think we're going to take part in that. The blacksmith is important. We also want to get to the general store, and everything there is at +1 availability. I may have missed that in the last video. I don't think I did. I think that, which actually this +1 availability makes almost everything that's kind of common there for us instead of having to roll, because the roll would be instead of a 5+, I need a 6+, so it's pretty much already there, and everything's 10% off, so you can't go wrong here. And on top of that, our inn is going to cost us 25 coins per party per night, so it's not per day, or sorry, per person. It's going to be per party. What we're planning to do in town here is we're going to send half of our people over to the blacksmith and half of our people to the general store. And I'm going to be we're going to make sure that we give enough money to everybody. The only weird thing is we have a bow that we have to sell, and that we have to sell, I believe, at the blacksmith. So most of the other arm money is going to be going to the party, and they're going to go to the general store. So our person with the bow is going to go here to the blacksmith to try to buy some more armor. And I think what we're going to do is get a full set of leather armor for our warrior priest. I think that would be a very good plan because he's got a lot of padded stuff that's all almost broken. So we're going to want to sell the broken stuff and buy some of this new stuff. So it looks like it's going to cost me, if we look at this completely, 200 and 390 gold to get a full set of leather armor minus the leather bracers. We're going to sell a elven longbow that's worth 700 gold, but now it has 1 durability loss, so we're only going to get 300 for 500 of it. And it says if it ever goes over this number, you just add in the other numbers. So for example, at 500 we're going to get 300 plus another 120 for this 200, so that's going to be 320 gold. We also can sell the padded cap and our padded jacket. The padded cap has lost 2 durability, so we can sell it for 15, and the padded jacket we're not going to get much for. It's at 120, and it's going to be all the way down here at 36, so we're going to get 36 for that and 15 for the coat. That brings our grand total to 471 coins that we were able to sell our armor for, and now of course we can buy that other set. Now I do have about 156 left because there was still some on this character. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to buy a rapier. It's going to cost 130 coins. We're going to give it to our halfling Kit because it has dual wield +2. So what that means is when it's held in the offhand, it's going to be able to add that much damage to it as a dual wield weapon. Now sadly, he only has the ability to single-handedly use class 1 items. Any class 2 items have to use 2 hands for because his strength is so low. So the strength set's really important when it comes to trying to get bigger, stronger weapons, but at least he's going to be a little bit nimbler, and so he'll be doing 1d6 plus 3 points of damage when attacking with this dual-wielded now rapier. So he now has 2 rapiers. With the purchased equipment, that's going to leave me with 26 coins, so I'm actually just going to leave myself with 1 and say this is the person that paid for the inn that we're staying at. Remember, our gold is all able to be shared amongst the party. Of course, the only problem is when you go to different parts of the town, you have to have your own gold in order to be able to do what you can there. For example, this is the only person who went to the blacksmith. all the rest are going to the shop to still buy some stuff. So he actually only has 1 gold left. But now we have a whole set of leather armor for this person, and we've got that rapier. I didn't write the rapier down here because then once we're done, we'll just pass it over to that character. Interestingly enough, I could have kept the padded armor I had, and that's stackable, which means you could also add that armor in, but when you do, you take a dexterity penalty, and I don't want to take any dexterity penalties. I don't like penalties at all. Last time I checked, penalties are bad, so I don't want to have any of that on any of my characters, which is why I sold all the padded stuff in order to pick up this fresh set of leather armor. Here's one of the 2 pages that has to do with the general store. There's a lot of stuff to look at. The other side of the page has pretty much just horses, camels, things that you can ride out of my price range, except for one thing. I wanted to buy rope. It's over on the other side. It cost me 50, so I bought that, and we now have 320 gold left. We normally had 330, but our dwarf, remember, has to always have at least 10 gold on him, so I just gave him 10 gold. We're going to go through all the stuff we're interested in buying, and then we'll divvy out the gold back to our party members when we go back to the inn. There's probably some really cool things that I'm missing on here that might be able to help us, but here are some that I think are going to be good. I'm going to grab some iron wedges, a couple lamp oils, and a lantern. So that's going to come to a total of 150, 60, 70, 80, 180 for 2 lamp oils, a wedge, and an oil lamp. Now the thing is, they might not be there. Notice this column over here. This is the availability. Now in this town, we get to add 1, so instead of 4, it's a 5. This is a 6, so there is lamp oil there. Now this is only a 4, so I do have to roll a die. Now the good news is I also have streetwise on my rogue, which is fantastic for buying things because that means that my roll is going to be reduced by 1. So the only way I could miss this roll is if I roll a 6. So we're going to roll this up and hopefully not get a 6. We got a 1. So that means our lamp is there. This is going to be a 5 plus, and I get to subtract 1. So even if I get a 6, it's going to be a 5 plus. It'll automatically succeed. This will automatically succeed. So we can pick these up, and you can use this one can be used to block a door, and it takes 1 action point. Maybe I'll pick up a couple of these. So it'd be 100, 200, and 30 gold. I think that might be a great idea. The other thing I want to buy are empty bottles. Again, they're at a 5, so they're going to be automatically there. I have no problem getting them. So I am going to buy 3 of them at 70 coins each. Or sorry, 25 coins each, bringing it to 75. Each of our characters now have 10 gold. Here's his new rapier. I am going to stay at the inn now. It's going to cost us 25 gold. I've already paid for that. When you stay at an inn, you're able to regen all your mana, luck, and energy. Now, we've never used any luck, and this is the only character that has luck. Luck allows us to do rerolls in this game, but I haven't had a need for that yet. I do get to roll 2d6 to see how much my characters heal. He heals 9, and when we finished our adventure, Kit was at 8 hit points, and the normal hit points he has is 9, so he is good. He is back to full HP. And he's also going to be carrying, now if you notice his encumbrance is 24 and he only has a 25 strength. So if we ever go above our encumbrance, all of our stats drop by 10 when it comes to the rest of the game until we can get underneath our encumbrance, which is your strength score. And you can never carry your strength more than your strength score plus 15. So the most you could ever carry is 40. 25 plus 10 is 30 plus 10 is 40. Yes, 40 points of encumbrance before that's the final most he could possibly have. So like I said, he's got streetwise, which helped us when it came to buying stuff. He has those 10 lockpicks that don't cost anything, but he did grab some iron wedges, and that's what's kind of holding them down a little bit. Next we have Arceus here. He's our wizard. He was sitting at 8 hit points as well, so he's full and good to go. I don't even need to heal him up. He does get his full mana going into the next battle, and he has a total of 5 coins and 17 encumbrance, so he's doing just fine. He's the one who is carrying a set of iron wedges and rope, as well as some bandages. That's what he's got. Then Rock Hightower. Rock Hightower was sitting at 9 HP. He's got a total of 14, so he's going to try to heal up some hit points. He got 7, so he's back to full health, totally fine. I'm also supposed to heal my sanity as well. So anybody who took any sanity hits are always going to go in with 10 sanity going into the next set of our adventure. I do have 6 coins for him, lucky for him, and he sits at 30 encumbrance. He only has 3 extra more he can carry. So again, it shows strength is really important when it comes to what you want to actually carry around. That, of course, if you're using the encumbrance rule. You do not have to use some of the rules in this game, but I think it brings the game, it makes it more real, I guess, more alive, because otherwise you can just carry around everything on one character and you don't have to worry about it. So I think it's cool that you have to spread everything around a little bit. He does have the 13 rations. That's really weighting him down, but that's okay. He has our lantern and our lantern oil as well. Let's go on to our next character. Our next character is going to be Exploding Bob. Now, Exploding Bob ended with, I think, 1 hit point, so he's got to heal some hit points here. He got 9, so he's at 10 hit points. So I just put a little slash here and write 10. So he's not fully healed, but that's okay. He's only missing 1. I think we're doing just fine for that. And again, his is going to be at 25 encumbering, so he's also close to the limit here, but he does have the 3 empty bottles. And with those 3 empty bottles, we're going to start making some potions. So we're going to roll against our alchemy skill and see if we can make some. One of them we're going to want to make is a healing potion, and it takes a tongue and a bitterweed. We already know that one, and I have a bitterweed and a tongue. So we're going to remove those from there and grab another healing potion. So we'll have 2 potions, or we'll have a potion of healing. We used our potion of healing in the last battle. I've erased our bitterweed and our tongue. We'll roll it up. We need to get a 60 or better. And we got, oh my gosh, we get just a 60. We got a 60. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what we needed. Couldn't get any better than that. Now, interestingly enough, if I was using exquisite ingredients or like ingredients that are really good for us, we're going to be able to add to that skill. Oh, and if you're making a potion that you actually know how to make, I do get to add plus 10. So we needed a 70. We were okay. So we were able to make a potion of healing. Where am I going to put that? Oh, I'm going to put that in my quick slot here. Right back where it used to be, potion of healing. Right down here. And then after we do that, we're going to try to make some, we're just going to make some random potions. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So let's look at the book and I'll show you how that works. When making a potion, we have to decide what we're going to make. We can make a weak potion, a standard potion, or a supreme potion. And that is only determined by what we actually put into the potion. So if we put in 1 part and 1 ingredient, we'll be making a weak potion. If we put in 2 ingredients and a part, or 2 parts and 1 ingredient, we'll be making a standard. And a supreme is 4 components, and they can be a mixture of anything, but there at least has to be 1 part or 1 ingredient in order to make it. We only have 2 ingredients, but we do have a lot of parts. So I thought, why don't we make a couple standard and 1 weak, which would cost us 2, 2, and 1. And then we also could use, oh, we can only make 2 standard then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We'll make 2 standards. We'll keep ourselves a tongue because you never know, we might find a bitterweed on our walk. And if we find a bitterweed, we could make another healing potion. Healing potions are sweetness. So we're just going to erase all of this stuff. We're not going to need any of this. Now, whether or not we succeed or not, we're still going to use what we have here. And what we're using when making potions randomly doesn't matter. It's only if you're actually making an ingredient potion that you have the recipe for. It doesn't matter what you've collected. Having removed our ingredients, we'll roll up our T100s here. And we need 60 or better. We're going to make a 55. So one of them was successful. And we got a, oh my gosh, we got another 60 again. Or is that 90? I think that's 90, isn't it? Yep, that's 90. So this second potion was not able to be created. We failed. Now that we've actually made a potion, we have to see what it is. And you're going to find that in the treasure area of the book, or of course in the spiral bound book that has everything you're going to need when it comes to different tables. We're going to roll a D3 to see what happens, because it does say in the case of standard supreme, we roll a D3 to determine what it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, it's 1. It's going to be this side. So we're going to roll a D10, see what we get. We got ourselves a 1. We got a potion of experience, and that's a standard one. Good news, the potion of experience is actually really good. It gives you free experience points. The problem is I can't use it in any type of combat situation. It does say that any hero that consumes this potion will instantly gain the wisdom of the generations past. The potion comes in weak, standard, or supreme versions. We do have a standard potion, so we're going to be getting 200 experience points when this is consumed. But I can only consume 1 of these between each dungeon. Lucky for us, we're still in a settlement. I'm going to put this right into the warrior priest's mouth, and I'm going to have him drink it right now. That way we can get 1,035 experience points for adding an extra 200, which does put him at level 2, which is exactly where we need him. He's going to gain an extra 1 to 2 hit points, so we're just going to roll a die. Even is 2, odd is 1. He got a, let's roll this in the camera here. He got an even number, so he's going to get 2. He gets a 2 extra hit points. That's going to be awesome. He now has 16 hit points. On top of that, we get to also gain 1 luck, and we get +1 energy. Energy is fantastic for him because that helps him do his battle prayers, and the luck is always a good thing. So he now has 2 energy and 1 luck. On top of that, we get 15 points that we can put to anything we want. Now, it's not just you can put points into things. The cool thing about this game is that depending on what your class is how much it's going to cost you per stat point you want to add. For example, if you're a barbarian, you're going to be really good at strength and dexterity and have a really good chance of raising up your combat skill. But if you're a wizard, for example, your strength is going to be really hard to raise. You have to, for every 5 points, you get to raise it 1. Whereas opposed to the barbarian, for every 2 points, he gets to raise it 1. Now, you can never raise a stat more than 5 points per level, which is super cool. Now, of course, a warrior priest, he's really good at his battle prayers, but he's already pretty good at his battle prayers. He's got a 55. I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is his durability. He's technically our frontline fighter, which is probably not the best position for him, but that's the one he's been assigned to, and that's his role. And at only 33 strength, he can't wield his broadsword and carry a shield at the same time. So what I'm actually planning on doing is doing a stat dump. I am going to dump all 15 points into strength, giving me a total of +5, bringing my strength score to 38. So if we can get 2 more points in strength, he would reach the next threshold to be able to carry a shield and also carry that broadsword, both in in 2 different hands, I should say. And I think that's going to be super good going forward after this adventure. That's not all. On top of that, every time your hero levels up, he or she may choose a talent from the category shown on the table below, or every other level, the same goes for a perk. So we're at base level 2 here, so we're going to grab ourselves a talent from the mental tree. Down here at level 2, I get to learn something from the faith set list of skills, or I should say perks. So we get a talent and a perk. Let's go check them out. Here are the mental talents that I can choose. I could choose Braveheart, which we actually already have. Confidence gives us +5 bonus to resolve. Interestingly enough, Fearless, it says that I'm completely immune to the effects of fear and I treat terror as fear, but I can only take this if I have Braveheart. And I already have Braveheart, so technically I could take Fearless. The other possibilities are Strong Mind. Hate, we already have this on one of our characters. I'm not a big fan of this one. You get +5 when attacking them, but you also get -5 when trying to dodge them and parry them. I don't like that. Strong-Minded, I get +1 sanity point. And then Wisdom here, the hero gains a permanent +5 bonus to Wisdom, which would also include my battle prayers, giving me a 60 in battle prayer instead of a 55, which I have right now. It's super hard to make this decision. Fearless seems so good, and especially since I do have Braveheart, so I would actually be completely immune to fear tests. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because we had to face fear tests, and he actually failed every fear test. So, which I totally forgot I had +5 to. Well, maybe I didn't. I just was terrible at rolling dice. I'm going to take Fearless. That's it. I'm taking it. I'm not going to deal with fear anymore for that guy. So that's going to be our mental trait talent that we're going to take. Here are the faith perks. Now, the difference between talents and perks is talents technically are always active. Perks are something you have to use in order to make them happen. And as you can see, each one of these does have something you have to do. And they all look great. They look fantastic. I don't know which one is the best one. But I do know Healer is not something I'm going to be taking. But the other 3 are so good. My will be done. Using his inner strength, the priest manifests tremendous resolve. I get to add +10 to all resolve tests. And that lasts until the next battle. We have God's favor. This is going to be awesome too. Your hero is well attuned to the gods, and they always seem to listen to him. Once again, his prayer is heard, and all problems seem smaller. Decrease the threat level by 1d6. That sounds so good. And then Fate Forger, by spending an energy point, the priest can force the reroll of the scenario die and but it has to be used as soon as the scenario die has been rolled. I think I'm going to go with God's Fortune. God's Favorite. I think it's really good, and that's the one we're going to do. Being able to decrease the threat die by d6, I think, will be really a strong thing to have. The other requirement of using a perk is you have to spend an energy point. So it is going to be an energy point in order to do that particular God's Favorite, but I still think an energy point to decrease that threat die is going to be pretty good. And here is Hightower, Rock Hightower now. He's got a 38 strength, which I think is good. I just need 2 more. And we have the 3 energy points. Of course, one of them has to be used for battle prayers at all time. At this point, it is time to leave our fine city and head down to the capital, Silver City, down here. The way overland travel works is you're going to be able to have a total of 3 movement, unless, of course, you have a different mode of transportation, like a horse or something. When you're moving along a road, each space is going to cost you 1 movement. When you're moving off-road, each space is going to cost you 1.5 movement. And if you're ever moving through a desert, which we're not even close to, we are going to have to spend 2 movement points to do that. But that's not going to happen. I'm also going to place this down here, and as you can see, I'm not planning to go off-road because I've just put this deck on top of that area. Now, the interesting thing is, like I mentioned in the last video, the numbers here on the actual areas of the map have to do with quests that you could potentially gain from certain places. There's a 4, a 2, and a 15. It's really faint on this a little bit. It's hard to read on top of some of those. That is going to be quests that we could do as we're traveling or in the different cities that they could give us. We're going to roll a die whenever we make a move. If we ever get 11 or 12 when we're on a road, we're going to have a road event, which is going to be right here. If we ever are off-road and we roll a 12, then we get an event. So, or if you're in a desert, you're going to roll on an 11 or 12. We do have 13 rations. We are going to start our travels. 1, 2, 3. We're going to move to right there and roll our die and see what we get. We got a 10, so we did not find anything. We are going to use one of our rations, bringing it down to 12. And I have a die for that, and we're just going to track it on that so that I don't have to keep rolling, keep erasing the numbers on my book, or I should say my paper. Now, another option we have is instead of using a ration, we could choose to forge using any one of our forging skills. If you are successful, you do not have to waste a ration. You found forging food for yourselves. Now, sadly, if you fail the forging roll, you don't get to eat the ration. You have to suffer the consequences of not eating. So I don't think we're ever going to forge. Not only is that kind of risky, but our brave adventurers have actually the worst forging skills on the planet. So that's the deal there. The other thing we get to do while we're on our little journey off into Never Never Land here, or I shouldn't say it, on the way to Silver City, we know where we're going. It's not Never Never Land. We do have a chance of harvesting ingredients for our wonderful alchemists who can make some more potions. We get to roll on an alchemy table. I'm going to roll these 2 dice, and we're going to see every turn we can try to get some materials. We got a 36. We were successful, which means that we're able to find 2 ingredients while we're on our travels. And I'm not going to roll those up right now. We're going to roll those up when we get to the end, and we'll just roll all of them at one time. So we'll just have one big giant dice rolling party and see how it all goes. So I'm just marking it off on a piece of paper that we were successful one time. And you know what? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a die. We'll use a die. We're successful one time. Fantastic. Let's move our character 1, 2, 3 to right here. First, we'll roll to see if we have anything happen to us. I got a 1. It flew way off the table. That's totally fine. Now let's see if we find any of ingredients. We got a 62. We did not. Our alchemy skill is 60. We used one of our rations. We're going to go down to 11. We're going to move again. 1, 2, 3 to right here. Roll our die here. Well, first we'll roll this one. We got a 2, nothing. Then we'll roll these 2 dice. We got an 80, nothing. We're going to not finding ingredients. We got a 60 better. We're going to go down to 10. 1, 2, 3. Again, same dice rolls here. We'll roll this one up right here. We got a 10. So close. I kind of want to see what an event does. And then we're going to roll our ingredients up here. We got a 40. So we did find an ingredient. So we're up to 2 on those. Now let's move again. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. We'll roll up our die right here. We got ourselves a 4. Oh, it was so close to a 12, but we didn't make it. We're going to roll our dice here, see if we got something. A 72. We did not get it. We're going to drop our rations down to 9, and then we're going to move into the city. 1, 2, just like that. We have made it to Silver City. And I don't know about you, but I'm super sad I did not roll 11 or 12. I'd love to see what one of these events are. I don't know what any of those are because I don't like to be spoiled when I play games like this, so it'd just be cool to see what one of those are. But alas, we did not roll one. What we do get to roll on is the ingredients table. We get to roll on this table 4 times because we get 2 for every success we were. So I'm going to roll 4 20-siders and see what we get here and roll them all up here. We got a 4, we got a 15, 16, and 17. Well, that'll be easy to remember. The 4, we were able to get ourselves mountain berry, and then 15, 16, and 17. Oh, we're so close to bitterweed. Remember, if we get a bitterweed, we know the recipe for that. And the way you gain more recipes is by going actually to Silver City or finding yourself an alchemist guild. And from there, you could learn more recipes. Of course, I think you have to be a certain level, and you also have to spend some money to do it. But we're going to write down what we got here. A mountain berry, a arching poke root, a toxic hogweed, and a coffin or blue cone flower. All right, that's what we're going to write down on our alchemist sheet. Now that we have more ingredients, we could choose to craft more potions. We would have to do them either on the way to the place, which we could because we did technically find some of those before we got to the actual city. I could choose to have crafted them on the way. So we'll have to think about if we want to do that. I think we're probably going to make at least one more potion. Why not? We have 3 bottles and we have 2 empty bottles hanging out. So yeah, let's craft a potion right now. We're going to make another standard potion. I'm going to use 2 ingredients and 1 of my parts. Roll up our dice here. We got a 0-4. Now remember, if you're using a skill and you get 0-1 to 0-5, that means you did a fantastic job of it and your skill goes up. So his alchemy is now at 61. That's amazing. Love it. Then we're going to see what we craft. We're going to do a 1 to 3 here. We got a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be a 1. That's the way I do it. Some people do it 1 and 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 2, and so forth. But either way, it would have been down this column. We'll roll ourselves a D10 again and see. We got a 2 this time. A potion of constitution, and that's a standard potion. We now are in the bustling center of the universe. This is the Silver City. The Silver City has so many different things to do, but we're not going to be taking too much advantage of them right now. We might do it in a future episode, basically because we don't, one, have much money, which you need to be able to, in order to do almost anything in this city, and two, we really want to get to that quest. Some of the things you could do, though, is if you notice a lot of these names here, they're different guilds. You can go to your specific guild and train your character, usually for about 300 for 3 points in certain skills based on whichever one you go to. On top of that, you could learn, for example, more battle prayers. I could learn more spells. I could buy and sell any type of item I want to in here. Of course, there's still restrictions on whether or not they're available. For example, I could even go to the alchemist, my alchemist character, and we could buy different ingredients. So if we really want to make more healing potions, I could attempt to buy those specific ingredients from the alchemist if I wanted to. You can go to an arena, you can bet on horses, you can decide to put your money in the bank. There's so many different things. You could even buy a house as time goes on, which is super cool in this game. But for now, we're going to just know that the Silver City is here and that we're in it, and we're going to move into our adventure. Quest 2, The Dead Rising. Apparently, it is not only in the villages that are visited by the occasional undead. Just like poor Jonan, the dead seem to be stirring in Silver City as well. Before long, members of the Brotherhood of Olenir were sighted in the city, apparently requested by the Jarl himself. Their leader was a towering man, a battle-seasoned warrior priest, and with him he had an old soldier and an alchemist. The three brothers carried themselves with confidence and power, and their appearance proved they could back this with action. They conducted their investigation thoroughly, and the warrior priest, Ulfric, declared that the root of evil seemed to be within the old mausoleum in the city's cemetery. What? The undead coming from a cemetery? No way! Together with his brother-in-law in arms, he entered the mausoleum. That was 5 nights ago, and not a sound has been heard from the mausoleum. The Jarl of Silver City reaches out to the party, requesting their help. My cousin told me you proved you could handle yourself with that horrendous rat and the poor soul Jonan. Would you consider heading down the mausoleum to get in contact with Ulfric? I know that what I ask will not be easy. The mausoleum is hundreds of years old, and it is like a maze down there. But I'm starting to fear that the Brotherhood may have failed. Accepting the quest, the adventurers are now tasked with making contact with Ulfric and his brothers. Once prepared, they will start their descent down the dusty stone stairwell, torches in hand and weapons at their ready. So at this point, we'll set up our next dungeon delve. We'll start our threat at 4. Our minimum threat can never be 4, and the max threat can be 18. We're going to be locating the quest in the Silver City, which is where we are. The special rules are when the threat reaches 10, a wandering monster will appear regardless of the scenario die. And I got a great tip in the last video that I should be shutting doors behind me because that can slow wandering monsters from finding you. And don't forget, we brought those caltrip type things to prop door jams or something. So hopefully I'll even stop them even better. We'll be setting up a number of tiles equal to what it says here. 5 corridors, not C16. 5 rooms randomized from R2B to R8B only. See rooms list on the next page. We get 150 if we were actually able to survive, and we're going to probably be encountering the undead. Our objective room is the Great Crypt. And just like in our last mission, we will find out more about that when we reach it. Sadly, I'm a little confused as to how I'm supposed to continue with this. One, it said to look on this page for a room list. There is no room list on the other side, so I don't know exactly how that is to pertain. But I still grabbed the rooms that we were supposed to grab, 2 through 8. So we do have all of those rooms that we're going to use for this adventure. On top of that, that, the objective room I'm supposed to put in is called the Great Crypt. There is no Great Crypt card unless I'm totally missing it. I have gone through every single one of the cards to try to see if I could find it. I even went through the ones that have to do with more of a desert type form, and I can't find anything that is called the Great Crypt. So I don't have a card for it to be able to put down. So what we're going to do instead is, it did come with this objective room, so I'm just going to put that in there, and then we'll just make up a room when we get to it, because I don't have the card to show me what exactly the room is supposed to look like. The good news is it is described a little bit in the objective room, which is located right down here. It tells me a little bit about what the room is kind of like, so we'll try to make it based on what it says down here in the objective room, but there is no card for this unless I'm missing something. The monsters we're going to be fighting in this, the encounters, are going to be undead. So from how I understand it, I'm going to go into the bestiary book, which is what I have open right here, and I'm going to be using the tables in this book to decide what we're going to be fighting. Now it says here, roll a d20 plus x, where x is 10 for each level above 1. Always use the highest level of the group member in the differentiation. For example, a level 2 party will roll 1d20 plus 10, a level 5 party will roll 1d20 plus 40. So in theory, the more advanced your party is, the harder the monsters you're going to face. So I'm going to quickly show you what exactly the monsters we could potentially face and see if we're even be able to take them on. So since we are a level 1 party, we'll just be rolling a d20. So we might be encountering some giant rats, bat swarms, some zombies, maybe some skeletons. There's a potential we might fight a wight if we roll too high. So hopefully we don't do that. I think those things will probably destroy us. So it is kind of cool that as you go through the game, you're going to be fighting more powerful monsters, because that kind of makes sense, because it'll be a lot of fun to see what extra monsters we'll be fighting as we go forward. So we have our corridor cards. I'll give these a good old truffle shuffle here, and then we'll draw out 7, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lied. We're going to draw out 5 of those. Then we have our rooms that we were supposed to do. There's not too many of them, but I'll give them a little truffle shuffle here and draw out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. At this point, I will shuffle all of these together to create our exploration decks, and we'll give them a nice good old truffle shuffle amongst everything here. And then we're going to put them again into 2 separate piles. Remember, this is how we make our exploration deck. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll add this one to this pile right here. This is that objective room card. We'll stick that right in here with these. We'll mix all these up just like this. And then those will be the bottom set of cards that we have, and then these will be the top set of cards we have. So mix those up like that, put those on top, and there we have our entire exploration deck ready to go. Before we start our dungeon, we need to get our board all set up here for our characters. We have a threat level of 4. That's the starting threat level. Here are all our characters. Bob, remember last time we saw Bob? Bob was sitting at 10 out of 11 hit points. But of course, as you're walking through the wilderness, you're able to heal as you go. So he's at full health. Everybody's actually at full everything. And Bob is carrying my light source. Remember, we have that neat old little lantern we're carrying around. And we also have a party morale of 17. Half of that rounded down is 8. If we ever drop below 8, we're going to start getting, I think it's -10 to some of our skills, or it could be all our skills. And if we ever get out of morale, we would have to run from the dungeons, if I remember right. There we go. We have our party sheet all set up. Oh, the only thing I need is his magic points, because I like to rate them right down here, so I have them ready to go. And his starting MP was 59. We have our heroes all set up. We are ready to begin our adventure. Now remember, the first door in the adventure is never locked, and sadly I did an error last time when we played. I'm supposed to raise my threat every time you deal with a door, and I sadly did not do that except for the one door I actually did a whole big thing on. After that, I totally forgot to raise my threat. Normally we'd start by rolling the threat die, but that's not going to happen because we're in the first room. So we're going to go ahead and just open this door and move on here. We're going to take our door, put it down right here, and we're going to draw our first exploration card and see what he has. I got to figure out who was the one who opened the door, though. I think I'll make it with Warrior Priest. What the heck? He can open. He's leveled up. He's a big deal. We're going to check this out. We have found the burial chamber. This chamber feels small, and the air is completely still. Leaning up against the wall are 2 coffins. The coffins can be searched. Here's our room right here. We're going to place this down on the table here. I'm going to place it just like that, and I'm going to make the next door come right out over here. I think that'll be kind of cool. just like that. And I couldn't actually, you know what? Nah, we're gonna go down. I think that'll be kind of fun. And now there are only two doors in here. The one we came in and one other one going out. No, I lied. Just to make it that way, who knows? Maybe we'll do another big kind of loop thing like we did last time. It's kind of cool. We'll put that right there. Our warrior priest is still on the move. But before we continue moving, I have to roll to see if there's an encounter in this room. And rooms have a 50% chance to find them. So if I get a 50 or lower, there's going to be one here. We got a 0-1, so you bet there's an encounter. Let's see what we find. We'll roll a d20 right here in the book and see what we have found ourselves. A 16. We're going to find D4 skeletons with broadswords and shields. Let's find out how many there are. We'll roll up our die and see what we get. We found, oh, there's one skeleton. Okay, I think we can take out one. At least I hope we can. Now to find out where we're going to place our skeleton, I'm going to roll a D4. One is here, and we'll just go in that direction. One to that way, one to that way. It's going to be on 3, 1, 2, 3, and then let's see where else it goes. 3, 1, 2, 3. It is right there. That's awesome. So we have our skeleton right here. He has a 40 combat skill, 20 resolve, 30 resilience. He has -5 to hit, so we're going to have -5 penalty to hit. Only moves 4, he's a 25 dex. He does have a few abilities here. One is just bones, so if I attack him with projectiles, it's at -2 damage. We don't have any of those. It does give us bone meal as a part besides our treasure 1. It has fear 2. I have to use my resolve to attack if I fail. And remember, fear 2 is like the level you have to be. So you have to be 3 or higher to not have this affect you. But I get -10 combat skill, range skill, or arcane ability if I'm attacking and I fail my fear test. He does have a broadsword, which is sweetness. It's 1d8 plus 2. He has a shield, which is going to give him an extra -5 to hit. This is fantastic. Unless the attack was a power attack. Well, I don't know if we're using power attacks. We'll see. And he does have 1 natural armor from the book. That's what it told me to have. And I will be using the lower undead card here. And he has 10 hit points. I get 80 experience points and I get that treasure 1. So I'm going to take a 10-sider here and just stick it right there on the card so we can see it. And then we're going to make up our chip bag here. Now remember, we're going to take out our chips and put them all in here. Well, sadly, only has 1 black chip. So we'll throw that right in the bag. But we get 4 chips. And we have keen hearing, so we get a 5th chip. So we're going to shake these up, and if somehow I draw him, then that's out of control. Okay, good. It's going to be us first. We get to choose which character gets to go first. I also believe I have to roll the scenario die since this is the first turn. I know I haven't made it through the door yet, but we're fighting a dude, so let's roll a scenario die and see what happens. I got a 9. A 9 means that we're going to roll on a d20 against the threat. Let's see how that goes. We got an 18. So nothing is going to happen. So we're fine with the threat, nothing happening. Now it'll be our turn. We get to choose a person to go first. We are going to use Rock Hightower first. That way, if this guy does decide to go next, he'll probably attack him. We're going to move 1, 2, 3 to right here, and that way I can get him from the side, and maybe some of my other characters can kind of start swarming around him. I can actually go 1, 2, 3, 4. I can move here. Now remember, you can move past them, but for every move you move past them, it's an extra 2 movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way, I could go on that way. Okay, so we've gone our 4 movement. We actually have more movement than that. I think we have 5. I lied. It's not 5. It's 4. Everybody has 4, and that rarely changes in this game. So where we are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're totally fine. Let's take this guy out. Let's use my sword and try to hit him. Rock's combat skill is 50. I do need a 40 though because he's got a shield and he's already at -5 to hit. So we'll see what we do here. I got a 6 and a 1. That's a 10. So we got a total of 16. So we did hit. I'm also supposed to take a resolve test because of the fear. But remember, we chose his ability that is going to be like unbreakable or something, where he's fearless. He's fearless. He doesn't have to take fear tests anymore, which is absolutely awesome. So he hit. He's going to do his damage, which is 1d8 plus 2. So roll up our d8 and see what we get here. I got a total of 3 plus 2 is 5 points of damage, leaving our poor skeleton stuck at 5 health. And that's going to be that end of Rock. We'll move to somebody else now. Let's see what we're going to do. We'll draw up our little tokens here, give them a good old truffle shake here, and it's going to be, again, one of our characters. I think our rogue is going to sneak in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, over to that side, and attempt to hit him. Now, moving and attacking aren't the only things you can do, of course. There's a lot of different things, but that's really what we're going to do with the skeleton. A lot of times, remember, power attack does take 2 action points, so I can't even really do any of those to them. So we're going to use our combat skill, which I believe is a 60 on Kit. We did get a 0-1 to 0-5 one time, so it's actually a 60. So we got a 31, so we did hit him. I forgot I have to take a resolve test because he does not have a fear ability, so he got 70. He failed the resolve test, so he has to have -10, just to actually take -20. I got a 31 plus 20 is 51. That's still below what it would normally take to be fearful or not to miss this guy. So we're going to use our rapier, which is going to do a D6. But remember now, I'm dual wielding these rapiers. So I get my rapier damage, which is 1d6 plus 1, and then I get plus 2 because I'm dual wielding with my weapon. So roll this up and see how we do. I got a 4 plus 3 is 7. That's enough to take out the skeleton. That was exactly what I was hoping to do. You'll take this guy out before he could even do anything. We get to roll on the T1 treasure table here, and we got a 3, which means we found 10 coins. That's fantastic. So with that, we got our 10 coins. We also get 80 experience points each, and on top of that, we get to get bone meal as well for our alchemist. Everybody has 950 experience points. We'll draw our next card and see what we find. Well, we don't get to draw a card yet. I have to remove this guy. Now we get to move our characters, but since we're in the new room and we're starting a new round, I'm going to just roll my die here, see what we get. We got a 7, so nothing's going to happen. We do have this door in front of us. I think he is going to move up to the... No, what he's going to do, he's going to search this coffin, and he is going to search that coffin. These two are going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4 to kind of this area here. He's going to move up a little bit here. He's going to move up here. So we're kind of right next to the door, which means we'll have to make another roll before we go on. But we're going to search those 2 coffins. We'll roll up our dice for our coffins. Now, of course, sadly, there's a chance that I could get a 9 or 10 and I wake a zombie. I don't want that. So this is the coffin next to the thief. He's gotten a 2. He found a fine treasure. That's awesome. And the other one is a 4, which is nothing. So our thief found a fine treasure. Here are 3 types of treasure decks. We have mundane, wonderful, and fine. We found a fine one, so we're going to give it a good old truffle shuffle here, and we're going to draw one from the middle. We'll just draw that one right there and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a wonderful treasure. This was the most unexpected draw, a wonderful treasure card instead. Oh my goodness, that's going to be amazing. So we got our wonderful treasure deck. We'll give that a truffle shuffle here and see what we can find. I'll put all these cards in here just like that. We'll give it a good shuffle. Hopefully it doesn't cause mass chaos here. We'll cut it right about there. We'll draw that card and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a tower shield, something I can't use at all. A huge shield sturdy enough to withstand the strike of a troll. 1 tower shield. Well, I can always sell it for 20 gold if I want to. But, oh well, that's not going to help us too much. Sadly, the funny thing is I can't even carry this. With 15 encumbrance, there's no way anybody in my group can actually even carry this. So that wonderful treasure was, well, not too wonderful. But that's okay. We're going to continue going. Here's our expert. Oh no, I've got to see what happens now. We'll roll a d10, see if anything happens to our scenario die. We rolled a 9, so we are going to roll a d20 and see what we get. We got a 7, so that's over 4, so nothing is going to happen. So at this point, we're going to have to see what's going on with this door. The first thing we have to do is raise our threat, which I did. I went to 5. I did not forget this time. And we're going to roll a d6 to see if it is trapped. We got a 5, so no, it is not trapped. So then we have to roll to see if it's locked. We'll roll a d10 and see what we get. We got a 5. Is it locked? No, it is not locked. So we'll place the next tile, and then we will roll for an encounter. And the tile we'll be placing will be a corridor. In the middle of the corridor lies an old backpack. Maybe there's something useful. The backpack may be searched. All right, fantastic. We'll place this down right here. It does say that the backpack that is located right here can be searched. And I'm going to put the door to my next area a little bit farther. I think a little bit closer, but also a little bit farther. We're going to put our door right here on those 2 places. I think that'd be kind of cool. And we'll put our door right there. We do have to roll to see if there's an encounter. And in the corridors, it's a 30% chance. We got a 94, so there is no encounter in the corridor here. So we're going to continue with our turn. Our thief is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. He is not going to search the backpack. He's just going to move 4. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here, and he's going to go 5, 6 with his extra movement. Remember, you can use both your actions to move, but when you do, you can only move half of your extra movement. Our alchemist can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is also going to use his extra movement to here. And our wizard, though, is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'll be the one that searches the backpack. Let's see what we find in the backpack. There's a good chance we'll find something. We got an 8. Well, when I said there's a good chance of finding something, we have found absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh, I got an 8 to 10. Nothing's there. We'll continue forward with our brave group. I'm going to use our rogue first. Well, first I have to roll our scenario die and see if anything happens. So let's take our die, roll it up, and see if anything happens. I got an 8. I need a 9 or 10 for something to happen, so nothing happens. So now we'll move him up there, and we will try to open this door. We'll roll a d6 first to see if it is trapped. It is not trapped. I got a 4. Next, I have to see if it's locked. I have to roll a d10. I got a 5, so it's not. I did, again, almost forgot to raise my threat. but I will not forget. My threat is at a total of 6. So we have 6 threat, and we're continuing on. And the door was not locked. I'm so glad I have a rogue in my party. I have yet to unlock a door. I don't know why I'm saying that, because now, of course, the next one will probably be locked. We'll draw our next exploration card and see what we have found. A preparation room. This seems to be a room where the dead have been prepared for their final rest. There's a large dust-covered stone table in the center of the room and a bookshelf along the wall. Next to the shelf is a small chest, and the floor is covered with dust, but you can clearly make out where someone has walked. The bookshelf and chest can be searched. We'll place our room right here. I think this will be kind of cool. And I'm going to place my next door, I think, right over here. And we'll place this one there to show that we are coming through in that direction. It's kind of neat because it's all kind of like bundled up. I really do enjoy the way that you can kind of make the dungeon your own every time you play this. I think this is really cool. We now have to roll for an encounter and see if we find anything. I need a 50 or better. I got a 76, so that means there is, oh, I'm sorry, that's way off screen. You can barely even see it. A 76 means that nothing is going to be in this room to fight this moment. And we're going to be able to search, I think they said the chest and the bookshelf. Just to make things look cool, I'll place a bookshelf right there, and I'll place a chest, which is a little bit out of control here. I'll place it right here. It's going to kind of actually take, okay, that chest is a little bit out of control. Sorry about that. And I got a little table here. We'll put the table out just like that. There. Now it looks kind of cool. Okay, that's only the beginning. He's going to move 1, 2, 3. Let's see. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. I think that's what I'm going to do with him. The warrior priest is going to move 1, 2, 3, and he's going to search the chest. If nothing attacks us from the chest, I'm going to have our alchemist move 1, 2, 3, 4 and search the bookcase, and our wizard will move 1, 2, 3, 4 into the room as well. So let's search the chest and the bookcase. Okay, remember when I said the book or the backpack should have something? This should definitely have something. Let's check it out. I got a 3. So we have found a fine treasure, which will work for us. Also, we have to check out the bookshelf as well, which I believe is just right up above it a little bit. It's right here, the bookshelf. So we'll roll a die and see what we get. We found a 2 for the bookshelf, which is also a fine treasure. That's amazing. I can't even see it. There we go, bookshelf. 2 fine treasures. We got 2 fine treasures. That's sweet. Hopefully we can carry our treasures. We shall see what we find. We found a disarming kit normally used by thieves. These kits are also common equipment amongst Dungeoneers as well. 1 trap disarming kit. The kit gives +10 pick lock skill when disarming a trap. Well, that's awesome. We know who's getting that. And our second one is going to be a potion. This dusty bottle clearly contains a potion of sorts. Maybe it's poison, or maybe it'll grant you the greatest power of all time. 1 random potion roll on the potion table to decide what potion it is. Remember that the heroes still need to identify the potion, alchemy, before drinking it. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, this is a skill. I have a 5 here. That's fantastic. And I get 200 gold. I could sell for 200 gold. Okay, let's give ourselves these things. I think our thief is going to take the disarming kit, and of course I think we're going to give our potion to our alchemist. We'll see how this all shapes up. Here's our potions. How we're going to do this is because I don't know if this is a normal, weak, or standard potion. It really didn't tell me that. Or weak, standard, or I should supreme, I guess you could say. But I'm just going to roll a 1, 2, 3 to decide what those are. Weak is 1, 3 is supreme. We'll see what we get here. 3, we got a supreme potion. As far as I'm concerned, that's how it's going to go. I'll roll a D3 again to see what it is. I got a 5, so that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a 2. We'll roll a D10 and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a 5, which is going to be a supreme potion of energy. I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, because I'm sure it heals so much energy, it's ridiculous. Maybe the warrior priest eventually could use it, because he at least has 3 energy to take good use of that. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they know what it is. I'm going to roll to see on my alchemy skill, which is a 61. Let's see if we know what it is. I got a 21, so we do know what that is. We do have a supreme potion of energy. Now, before we continue too much further, I am going to take the advice of some people I know. I'm actually going to use my wizard. He is going to stop right there from moving into the room and use his action to shut the door. Now, the next turn is going to go. I am going to roll a d10, see if something happens. Nothing does. So at this point, I'm going to spend a turn kind of divvying up stuff, because I can't actually hold the kit with him unless I give my one of those, the iron caltrop thingies, the iron wedges. I have to give those to somebody, so I'm going to give them to Bob so he can carry them. He's now at max stamina, or max encumbrance of 25. I'm going to use my action with him to bolt that door with his iron wedges. So this is iron wedge shut. I am going to represent that with this D4, just like that. That'll show me that that door is wedge shut. That's what I'm going to do with his action. He's going to get to move. I'm going to move him over here, move him over here, and move him 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, and him 1, 2, 3, 4. And the actions were all either giving people weapons or are trading out some of the items or wedging that door shut. That's the end of that turn. Let's roll our die again and see what we get. We got a 6, so again, nothing happens from our scenario die. So next we have to deal with this door. So first off, our threat goes up by 1. It's going to go to 7. See, I'm doing a good job remembering this stuff. That's awesome. Now we have to check on this door. I'm going to roll both dice at the same time because it does recommend doing that. It is not locked, or it's trapped, but it is locked. So I'm going to have to try to lock pick this door. Now the difficulty of this lock picking is going to be based on what number I rolled. Since I rolled a 9, my lock picking skill is going to get a negative 15 in order to use it. So I'm going to use my lock picking kit I have, which is going to be plus 10. So now I'm only at a negative 5. And Kit has a full, a lock picking skill, I should say, of 70. So we're going to only need a 65 in order to pick this lock. Let's roll it up and see what we get. We got a 51, so we were able to pick that lock using the disarming kit and our wonderful ability as a rogue. The lockpick kit has 6 durability, so I believe that uses the durability to do the lockpicking kit. I'm not exactly sure about that. So as far as I'm concerned, I can use that 5 more times. Picking the lock of the door does cost both action points, so if there isn't an encounter in this room, I'm going to have to, or corridor, he's not going to be able to move. He's going to be out of action points. Let's see what we have found. We have found ourselves a corridor. There are 4 different openings in this corridor, each covered by a heavy wooden door. No special rules. Deal the cards in 3 piles from the bottom. Place each pile in an opening. All right, we will take care of that. We'll place our tile just like this because I don't think I'll have any other way to do this. I'm going to place 1 here and I'll put 2 like that. I think that'll be pretty cool. And then we'll deal out our cards. Now you have to deal them from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 1. So most likely it's up there, but we'll see. I think we're going to start down here, then go that way, and then go that way. If it's up here, I'm going to have to do all 3 anyway, so that's just fine. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's the middle one of that. I don't know. But we're going to, this guy, I need to roll to see if there's an encounter in this corridor. So we'll take our 2 dice, roll them up, and see what we find. A 77 does not mean there's an encounter. Now let's just do 1, 2, 3. Now remember, if you go a certain amount of spaces into the dungeon without finding an encounter, you actually have a better chance of finding one. But that is not the case. We're doing just fine. We're going to remove that door and place down another one just like this. And at this point, we are going to move who's ever left, which is going to be the rest of our team. I'm going to move 1 person to here. I'm going to move this wizard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. Actually, no, I like everybody just kind of hanging out right next to each other. Here we go, just like that. Now that's going to be the end. I need to get my rogue up there first. So we're going to roll our scenario die, see what we get. Oh, we got a 10. So let's roll to see if anything happens to us. And we got ourselves a 4. So something is going to happen to us while we're waiting, trying to get the rogue up here to open the door. Here's all of the things that could possibly happen to us. So I'm going to have to roll a D6 and then a D12 to see what happens to my brave adventurers. We're going to roll a D6 to see which column we're on. We're in the 2nd column, which is probably the worst column. And I got an 11. Oh, this is going to be really good. And of course, 11 is even on the other side of the page. There's so many dungeon events. That's absolutely amazing. Let's check out 11. It says there, intricate writing on the wall. It is half faded, and the rough surface makes it very hard to read. The party may try to read it and take a perception test, and that character will have to spend 2 action points in order to do it. If you're successful, roll a D8. Since we're waiting for our rogue to catch up, we are going to do this, and I'm going to do this with our wizard. Our wizard is a 44 perception, which is better than nothing. Let's see if he's able to figure out what's on these walls. He got a 63. No, he's not. Ah, darn, that'd been really cool to see what some of those were. But he, alas, did not do that. Our rogue is going to walk up here, and then we're going to test this door out and see what we have found. We'll roll a D6 and a D10 and see if they're trapped and if it's locked. I got a 2 and a 2, so it is not trapped. It is not locked. We are going to open up this door and see what is on the other side. We have found ourselves, let's see, we'll draw the card. We have found ourselves a shrine. The room somehow feels assuring. The room is dimly lit, and in the middle of the room is a large fountain. The water from the fountain mirrors the fountain mirrors the torches, making the light dance across the ceiling and walls. The water in the fountain seems safe to drink. Furthermore, the fountain can be searched. Threat level is decreased by 2. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right, so we get to decrease our threat by 2. I forgot to raise it again, so our normal threat would be at 8. We're going to lower it back down to 6. That's awesome. And then we're going to place out this cool looking tile. Look at that thing in the middle there. That's amazing. All right, we'll put it down just like, actually I'm going to put it off kilter, well, I don't think I can put off kilter, because if we have to go this way, I would hate to have a big room over here, and I couldn't put it because I put this one like that. But all right, we're going to put that just like that. We'll put down a door or two, and we'll see what happens. We'll place another door right down here. I could have put a door over here, but again, I would hate to interfere with anything that might be over here if we have to go in that direction. So we're just going to roll our dice and see if we have any type of encounter. We got a 52, and for this, we needed a 50% or lower, so we barely missed an encounter. I kind of wanted an encounter, actually. I almost should just say let's have an encounter, because I only killed one skeleton so far, but that's okay. We'll keep on moving here. Our shrine can be searched. That's pretty awesome. So we'll move in. It costs us 1 to check that door. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just going to kind of run across, and he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. These guys will move in 1, 2, 3, 4, and kind of follow these guys across here, following the leader. And we'll have the warrior priest search the shrine. I don't even know what you're going to find inside that. Well, actually, it's not the shrine, it's the fountain. We'll see what's in the fountain. It looks like there's multiple ways you can interact with this fountain. We're just going to search the fountain because that's the deal here. I got a 7, which means I have found D20 worth of coins sprinkled across the bottom here. I have found 10 coins. I'm super happy about 10 coins. If you choose to drink from the fountain, I can heal hit points or energy points, but really I'm at full power. I'm not too worried about it. So we're just going to take the 10 coins and move on. We do have to put our other exploration card down. I forgot about that. I'm going to roll my die and see if anything happens to our characters here. Oh, I got a 10. Maybe something again will happen. That'd be awesome. Let's see what happens here. I got 11. So no, nothing happens. So my threat level is at 6, which is, I guess that's fine. We've almost got a chance to do something cool and we failed. 1, 2 over to here. 1, 2 over to here. These guys are going to move up a little bit, and then we're going to roll our die again and see what we get. We got 3, so nothing happens. So we're going to try that door and see what happens here. I get to roll a D10 and a D6, and hopefully nothing bad happens to me. A 6 will mean it's locked, and if nope, none's not locked, and it's not trapped. So we're just going to open the door, and we're going to see what we have found. We found our objective room. This is the room that you have been looking for. It's to finish the quest. All right, well, this is a pretty short one. I was hoping for it to go a lot longer. I wanted to find more monsters. I only killed 1 skeleton so far, but that's okay. We'll probably have to fight a lot of stuff in this objective room, so that'll be cool. Let's read what the objective room has to offer, and we'll see how we can do what we'll do from there. It says the crypt that the heroes enter is a large room with 6 sarcophagi. In the middle stands Ulfric, unmistakably changed. Flanking him are 2 skeletons, both armed with bronze swords and shields. Ulfric's stern gaze has been replaced by an icy blue sheen. His cheeks are now sunken and his face looks like ash. Protruding from his chest is an ancient bronze blade. As he notices the party, he lunges forward with his hammer held high. Here's the setup. It does say place Ulfric in the middle with the 2 skeletons on either side of him. They are considered ordinary skeletons with long swords and shields. Again, still not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing when it comes to the actual room. It says Ulfric the warrior priest. Once fueled by his hate against the undead, the warrior priest has now joined their ranks, fighting in complete silence. He still seems to have he has the same ferocity. And here's his stat blocks. He's got 45 combat skill. He does have 1 damage, 1 natural armor, and 30 dex. He's negative 10 to hit with 35 resolve. He has 4 movement and 12 hit points. So we're going to be using that stat block. I'm kind of worried about the extra damage and natural armor. Ulfric is armed with a war hammer, then has armor 2, meaning that his 2 hit in practice will be -5. He has frenzy and causes fear 3 special rule. Now I'm a little confused as to why they gave him 2 armor and then yet he still has a natural armor of 1. That doesn't make much sense. Why wouldn't they just put his natural armor at 3 or give him 0 and just say his armor is 2? I think we're going to play it that he has 3 armor from how I understand that. From what I understand though is that in theory there might be something that can bypass armor and there might be something that bypasses natural armor. So maybe that's why there's the 2 different stats. I do get 140 experience points, treasure table 2 if I win. After that great description of the room, my fears have been relieved. There actually is a tile for it and I don't know why there's not a card. I'm sure there's a reason for that, but we've got our tile right here. That's fantastic. Maybe it's because this is probably only used in this scenario, or if it's used in other scenarios, they didn't want to just have it randomly appear. That way they have this for us to use, as describing the room is enough for us to find that tile. Either way, we're going to place down our enemies. I have a D12, which is going to roll from that axis, and I've got a D6 that is going to roll from that axis. So we've got 2 skeletons here, and we have Ulfric. Ulfric's just going to be this guy. He's the closest thing I can get to a guy with a warhammer. He's got just a giant cleaver, but that's okay. We're going to roll 1 to 12 this way. Let's see what we got. We got a 12, so this guy starts way down here, and see what D6, 4, 1 is 4 right there. Fantastic. Who's our next skeleton? Our next skeleton starts at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's right on the sarcophagus, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all lining up straight here. Too bad I don't have a lightning bolt. Well, I could just cast down the entire wall here. We've got a 5, so he's going to be here, and he's got a 1. So Ulfric is right there. Our heroes are up here. We're going to roll our scenario die and get going, but first, let's take a look at the monsters. Our skeletons we've already seen before. I'll place them right there. They each have 10 hit points. I'll mark them with a white and orange die. The orange die is the one closest up to here. He has 10 hit points. Sadly, I don't have any of those cool ones from Aeon Trespass, or not Aeon Trespass, Aeon's End, where they actually have a 10 on the die, which is kind of cool. This is going to be for him down there. Then we have Ulfric. He's right here. It says that all the stats that he has before, he does have Cause Fear, and he has Frenzy. If it wounds a hero, it may make a standard strike immediately against it for free. Don't like that. He has a Warhammer and Armor 2. So we'll put him down here. He's going to have Warhammer and Armor 2. So here is his Armor 2. And he has a Warhammer, which is, I don't know why I don't have one of these myself. 2d6 damage on +5 to hit on in close combat. It's slow, and it has +5 to hit in close combat BFO. I'll have to check on that. And stunned if the target loses 1 AP if the damage is even. I should probably have one of those. That would be absolutely amazing. Now the other people are going to have a shield, which you've seen before, and then a longsword, which is going to be a 1d12. So these guys could be pretty brutal. Put them on the board. Now he has 12 health, so we'll give him that 12 die that I was rolling earlier and place it right there. All right, I think we're ready to start. Let's roll our scenario die and see what happens. If we get a 9 or 10, something happens, something does not happen. Let's get our chips together and start drawing them out. We're going to get 5 chips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll dump them right into that bag, and they're going to get 4 chips. 3 for each of the enemies, and then 1 because he is a named enemy. We'll give these a truffle shuffle here and pull them out and see what we got. We're going to start with one of them. Oh no, all right, let's check and see which one it is. If we look at our enemy activation card, it's going to look for people that are magic using, enemy adjacent to a hero, enemies adjacent to a hero, nope. Enemy close to a hero, that could charge. I believe that one can charge. Enemy that is not enough spaces moves its full movement, and then a random enemy. So this one can move and charge because it can move 4 spaces. So it'll move 1, 2, 3 right up to there. I'm just going to remove the door just because they're a little bit unwieldy when you're in combat like this, but they do look cool other than that out on the board. So our character is in base contact with this enemy. We'll see what it does by using the lower undead card. Here's the flowchart of our enemy. Our card for the lower undead isn't going to matter because charging automatically uses both your action points, so we don't have to roll to see what he's going to do. The deal is, though, if he is successful in his attack, he could push me back 1 square. So now we have to roll a D100 to see if he hits. We also have to roll to see where he's going to hit me, and then I have to roll the damage for the weapon as well. Now, since I have not yet dodged this turn, I don't like to roll all the dice together because then if I know this is only going to do like 1 point of damage, I'm not going to use my dodge. Let's see if he hits first. He got an 87. These are definitely a mute point. 87 does not hit, so since he was not successful, he doesn't do any damage. I don't get pushed back. With that monster totally flubbing his attack, we're going to reach into our bag and grow out another token here. It is our turn to do something, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen. I think our best bet is to have Rock Hightower Tower go first, and he's going to hit this character with a power attack, which means I'll be getting plus 20 to my combat skill, because I'm really thinking we can take at least this guy out with 2 of our characters. We got a 22. That is enough to hit. I am using my broadsword, which is going to be a D8 plus 2. So we'll roll up a D8, see what we get. We got 7 plus 2 is 9 points of damage. Oh, so close. He was at 10, so now he's at 1 hit point. All I have to do is just tickle him a little bit, and he'll be super dead. Now, since I did do a power attack, any enemies that attack this character now get plus 10, and I can't dodge or use parry in any way. Let's go back to our bag and see what one we pull out next. We have pulled out another enemy. So now, good news for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, he can't get to us, and this one obviously can't get to us. So if you look at the order of activation here, the activation is going to be enemy has enough spaces to move its full movement, it's going to do that. So I'm just going to start with this one, or I guess I should roll. Even is him, odd is the other one. Even, so it is going to be him. He is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. He could climb over this if he wanted to. I'm just going to make him run around it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still gets to the same spot. He's going to go right there. And these you can search. You can also move on top of them if you wish to, and they give plus 10 cover against ranged attacks when being on top or behind one of those. Let's see. Oh, this guy has 1 hit point right there. He's able to move, and then he's able to do a second move as well, so he can move half of his speed value. He'll just move right on up. From where he is, though, he cannot make an attack, because he had to spend at least one of his actions to get almost there. We'll draw our next chip from our bag and see who it is. It's going to be hopefully one of us. Oh my gosh, it's the bad guys again. Well, it's just going to be this guy. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, they can move 4 and then half of their speed for a second action point. Now it's all my guys. It doesn't really matter. I don't need the bag. We'll just put it right there. I'm going to use this guy to... Oh, wait a minute. I've got a plan. Maybe I can use this guy to attack him, because that way I don't have to like try to, I only need to do 1 damage to him. I got to figure out a way to do 1 damage. And of course, I'm going to do one more thing before that, because I'm super new and I don't forget to do anything. I'm going to use a battle prayer because I've got 3 energy. I might as well use a battle prayer. Let's use the one that... Should I do the one that heals me or helps my magic user? I think I'm going to do the one that helps my magic user this time. In order to be successful, I do have to roll up my battle prayer ability, and I got a 62, and my battle prayer is only a 55, so that actually fails. My battle prayer did not work. We're going to start by using... I think we're going to use our, oh man, I don't know how to do this exactly. We're going to use our thief. He's just going to take this guy out. A dead skeleton is a good skeleton. So a good skeleton is a dead skeleton, I should say. So he's going to take him out and then make an attack against him. I'm not going to do any type of power attacks or anything like that. I'm just going to do 2 attacks. First attack against the skeleton. I got myself a 17. That's going to be a hit. So he's just going to be a dead skeleton. I don't even need to roll. I'm just going to remove him from the board. The next one is we're going to attack Ulfric. We'll see if we can get him. Now he's got 2 armor and 1 natural armor, and it's just a mess. And I got a 41. That might not hit. His combat skill is a 61, and I have to add 10 to it, so that means it's 51. So it does still hit, which is really good. Now, sadly, he does have 3 armor. In the future, I might be able to get behind him because he has backstab, which means that I can get rid of some of that armor, which would be really good. I got a 3, which isn't going to do too much. It will do a total of 6 damage, but he's got 1 natural armor and then 2 armor. So he's only going to do 3 damage, bringing his total life down to 9. I'm going to move our wizard next. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 to right here, and that way he can use his magic spell to try to hit him. Now, the sad thing is he is in base contact with him because there's technically that door right here, and I couldn't attack through our characters because it's a direct line. If you're off to the side over here, let's say, it's not a direct line anymore, and I could have actually, well, actually, now I think about it, it's probably a better idea. If I had stepped back, then I'm not at a direct line, and I'm kind of shooting right between those guys. That's a way better plan. Barrett, you're brilliant. So I'm going to shoot my bolt through that thing, or I shouldn't say my bolt. It's our magic spell. It's our flare spell. It says the bright light flare shoots from the caster's hand, hissing through the air and doing 1d8 damage. Bang! It's a quick spell, so I can do it with one of my action points, costing me 15, but the casting value is 8. We need to get over our casting value, which is, I believe, 70. I'm going to roll my damage die along with this. We do have to add our casting value of the spell, though, too, as well, and to see what happens to us. I got a 30, and I did 5 damage, so this is going to be enough, because even adding 8 is going to get way above my arcane ability. The problem is I only did 5 damage. He's got 3 armor. So 5 minus 3 is, I only did another 2. 9, 8, 7 points of damage. Or he's at 7, I should say. I should have casted this at the skeleton. And I should have attacked him with my thief, because I think our thief overall does more damage than our magic user with that spell. Our spell costs us 15 magic points. So we're going to go 15 minus 59 is going to be 44 magic points, I think, if I did my math right. There's only one person left in our party, and that is him. He's just going to move up and make an attack. I sadly couldn't charge because I had to move at least 2 spaces in a straight line, but that's okay. We'll roll up our combat skill. I got a 44, which is going to turn into a 54 because he's got plus 5 to, oh no, it's only 59 because he's an, oh, it's 10 minus 10. So I've got a 54 here. I'm sure that misses. My alchemist only has a 43 combat skill, so that's the end of the round. So we'll restock our bag with 4 white chips and 3 black chips because we don't get our keen hearing after the first round. This die is removed. We totally killed that guy. We'll shake up our chips and hopefully I get a good person. Come on, I need me. Oh no, it's the bad guys, which means he's definitely going to be the one that activates, and he's going to we'll have to see what he does. So looking at the lower undead card here, it is adjacent to a hero, attack according to the table. So we're going to roll a d6 and see what we get. This could be very bad. Well, I shot the d6 across the table. Let's roll it up. We got a 4. He's going to do a standard attack. So he's actually going to do 2 standard attacks because he can't do a power attack after he does the first standard attack because it does take 2 action points. He'll start by attacking. I have to roll to see what he attacks because they're all adjacent to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to roll 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to attack the thief. Then the second is even odd. The second one is going to be him. Oh no, I really want to be able to attack the priest, but that's not happening. So we have an attack against him and attack against him. This could be really brutal. We're going to roll our attack and see what happens. One thing I did forget is I forgot to use their resolve against that fear 3. Though I don't think it would have made any difference. I think the numbers I had were good enough to hit even if I would have failed the resolve test. So I think we're okay. Or of course, the alchemist who missed wouldn't have passed if he would have passed the test, so it doesn't really matter. Let's roll this up, see how he does against our thief. He got a 69 plus 5 is going, or minus 5 is going to be 64, which means he has missed. He needed a 45. He did miss him. Now he's going against the alchemist. Let's see how our alchemist fared. Our alchemist got another 69. Is that destiny or what? All right, 69, dude. We're going to miss with that one as well. So he actually missed with both of his attacks. That's unbelievable. Let's draw our next chip out of the bag. I might just leave it here because we're in just punching mode right now. Oh no, it's our other enemy. We have to go back to the board. This enemy can only move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more to get next to us. At this point, I can now use anybody I want. We're going to start again with the warrior priest. I think everybody's just going to beat on that guy as much as they can. We'll start with the warrior priest, go to the thief. Once those two beat on him enough, then eventually my wizard is going to attempt to cast a spell on that one because the armor on this one is just too intense to try to get those spells through. And he's going to attack him if it works as well. But first we have to do, so I'm going to make sure I do all of my resolve tests. I'm just going to do them now since there's no other enemies that can go. It can just be me. Our warrior priest does not have to make one, but our thief does. He got an 83, so he's super afraid. Then we have our alchemist. He is 80. He is super afraid. And then our wizard, he got a 95, so he is also super afraid. They're all super afraid of that guy. I don't see why I wouldn't be afraid of a guy with a sword sticking out of his chest and running at you with the warhammer and attacking like a madman. I'm going to start with my warrior priest. He's going to make, and I'm just going to make 2 attacks, though they are going to be at -10, which means I'm going to have to, I'm not hitting it very well. I think his combat skill is pretty putrid. His combat skill is only a 50. So that means I'm going to need a 40 or better in order to hit this guy. I got a 60 with the first attack. That misses. Our second attack is going to be a 10 plus 7. That's a 17. That's a hit. And we're going to do 1d8 plus, I think it's 1 point of damage against this guy. Our wonderful broadsword of awesome. No, it was plus 2. All right, let's see how much damage you do. Come on, 8, come on, 8. Oh, I got 5, 6, 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. He is down to 3 points of damage. That's amazing. All right, we could probably, come on, we can get this guy. We can get this guy, we can get this guy, we can get this guy. Our thief is going to go next. I might just do a power attack on this guy now, just to kill him. He's got a 61, so he's going to do a 51. I'm going to make 2 attacks. We're going to try 2 attacks. I need a 51. I got a 76. That's bleh. And I've got a 20. A 20 does hit, so he's going to do 1d6 plus 3 points of damage. And he got himself a 2 plus 3 is 5. Minus 3 is going to only bring him down to 1. He's got 1 health. Oh no, I have to hit this guy for 1 point of damage at least. We're going to go with our Alchemist next. Now remember, our Alchemist, I should be rolling at -10 for that last attack, but that was still good enough. Our Alchemist is going to fail. Our Alchemist got a 30, which is going to be a 40. And his skill is going, oh no, it's 40, and then another 40, so oh my gosh, he only got, like, he totally failed. I didn't realize that. All right, he should have maybe done a power attack against this guy. He's actually at -20 on his attacks here. He got a 69, so he missed with both of his attacks. That was awesome. So the only person left is our wizard. He is going to use his spell again. He's going to use Flare, and he's going to attempt to use it on that only guy. Oh my gosh, I need to get this through. Oh, and I should have used my prayer again because I'm super awesome. I'm going to try my Power of the Gods again, and we got a 0-8. So the Power of the Gods did go off. That cost me 1 energy point. I'm down to 2 energy points. I'm going to cast Flare at this point. We're going to roll this up and see what we get. We got a 61. I am fearful, so that means it's a 71, but I do have the +10 from my Power of the Gods for the Arcane Arts. So it's actually a 61. It does go off. I get to do 1d8 points of damage. This has to be a 3 or higher. I got a 7. Yes, that's way more than 3. This guy got super dead. So our main guy is out. He is out of the combat. We were able to kill him. Ulfric is dead. Now we still have 10 health left on that skeleton. We'll move into our next round and put some chips into our bag. Now, of course, this poor, I feel kind of bad for the skeleton if he wasn't already dead before. We got 4 of our chips, 1 of his chips. Now, I do have to roll the scenario die and see if anything happens. We got a 10, something does happen. Let's see what happens. We got a 2, so something does happen based on our threat. We'll roll to see what happens. And now there's different things happen in common when versus not in common. Now, the difference is when I rolled this last time, I did it wrong. What we showed you before was dungeon events. That's not what happens. I'm looking at threat events. And so I did that wrong earlier in the game here. And on top of that, there actually is like a whole set of dungeon events you're supposed to check each time you go into a room. I've been doing that. I haven't really been doing that. There's a lot going on in this game. And of course, remember, you don't have to use every rule in this game, but all the rules together do bring this game more to life. Here's the table I should have been using when it came to trying to figure out if we had anything happen based on our threat. I should have been rolling a d20 up here to see if anything would have happened instead of on those dungeon events, but dungeon events are pretty cool too. Those are rolled in a different capacity. I've actually been failing to roll either one of these actually correctly, but that's okay. We'll roll up and see what happens to us. We got 9, so it's this reinforcements. We're going to roll on the encounter table and place the new encounter just outside a random door. Oh my gosh. All right. Open or not ready to enter a tile where the heroes are. Oh, there's only one place they can come in. They will act last in the current turn. If the door was previously unopened, it will now be considered opened and or unlocked and trapped. Wow. Let's see what is coming from behind. Here's our table for the undead. We're going to roll a d20, see what we get. Now, sadly, a warrior priest is level 20. That may have changed the way this table works a little bit. But we're just going to go with it. We're having fun. Let's roll it up, see what we get. We got a 1. 1 is going to be giant rats. We're going to play 1d3 giant rats. I'll roll this up. 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, just like we've been doing before. We got a 4, so that means 2 giant rats are going to come running into this room. Our giant rats we have seen before. Thank you to Osworn. I'm going to put them right, I said outside the door, so I think we're just like that. I may be wrong. It might be on this side of the door. I can't remember. We're going to place them right there. They're going to go last this turn, so at least we don't have to worry about putting chips in the bag for them. So we do have our 5 chips in there still, so we'll shake them up a little bit and see what we get. Now, the other thing we have to do is wow, the enemy goes first. All right, there's only one of these in there, and he goes first. On top of that, I do have to lower my threat. When we rolled on that for reinforcements, our threat goes down by 4. So that puts us at a 4 threat. That is the lowest I think you can go, if I remember right how the scenario works. You're not able to go any lower than 4 threats, so it did actually drop down to 4. He's going to activate, which is absolutely hilarious. He's going to roll his card here and see what he does. He is standing right next to us, so he's just going to whack us real good. I'll roll a d6 and see what he does. He's going to do a 6, which is going to be a power attack. So he is going to power attack somebody. We'll see who that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's only 2 guys. So he'll do 1, 2, 3. He'll be 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So he's going after the warrior priest. Finally, somebody attacks the guy with all the armor. Our skeleton has a combat skill of 40, so he's doing a power attack. He gets to add to it, and he got a 0.9, so that's a super hit. He did hit me. He's going to do D12 points of damage. He's going to do 6 points of damage to my warrior priest. At this point, I can choose if I want to dodge this attack if I want. And I think I'm going to. I don't think I powered attacked last turn. If I did, then I'm not allowed to do this. But we're going to try to dodge it. So I'm going to use my combat skill minus 15 to try to dodge this attack. I got a 68. I failed miserably. So I am going to take the 6 damage. And I tried to use my dodge. That was horrible. We have to roll to figure out where he hit us. He hit us right in number 1, which is going to be my head, which is super good. I've got 3 defense there at least. So I'm only going to take 3 from this attack because I do have 3 defense in on the head. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down to 13 here. I also have to take a sanity hit because it did hit me in the head. Since he did a power attack this turn, he's not able to do another action because that does take 2 action points to do. So it is our turn to see if we can take this guy out. So how are we going to do this? I really want to try to take out almost everything in one turn here. I don't think that's going to happen unless I get some really good rolls. Sadly, the only one that can get to the giant rats this turn and still be able to attack them is going to be my wizard. So I'm actually going to have my wizard go first, and he is going to attack those giant rats. I've got a plan. I think it should work. We'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and just cast Flare at both of those characters there. I can do it twice because it is a quick spell. It is magic missile, so I don't actually have to hit. It's going to auto hit. So it's going to do auto damage as long as I'm able to get the casting value and I have enough mana for it. I'm going to be casting 30 points of my mana, leaving me with 14 left if I successfully cast this spell twice. There's a chance that this guy could be the MVP of this entire game. We're going to find out. I'm going to roll everything up here and see if we hit my guy here. We're going to go for the brown rat. We got a total of 0, 1, and we got a 6. That's like the best thing that could have happened. My guy's going to gain +1 towards his skill, and our giant rats only have 6 health each. So that means he is going to die. I have killed one of the rats. That's fantastic. That rat is super dead. I'm super excited about that. We'll put his corpse there that we can search later. Wow, that was fantastic. Now remember, I don't have to be drawing any chips because there was only 1 enemy chip in that bag. The other chip, the rats are supposed to go at the end of this combat round. So I figure if I can try to take out these rats, it'd be awesome. So anyway, his arcane skill just went up. That's absolutely awesome. His arcane skill is now going to be, what is it? Let's check it out. He's got an arcane skill of 70, so now it's 71. Now that's only the first spell. I can cast this spell again. Let's roll it up and see what we get. We got a 15 and another 6, so that's another, oh, he just got MVP. This guy is amazing. He just got the MVP. He killed both the rats that came in as reinforcements. Too bad, sorry, Mr. Skeleton guys. The rats did not help you too much. My wizard came back there with guns blazing, pew, 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 and he totally took out both those rats. That was awesome. What do you know? About once every blue moon, my plans work. My plan actually worked fantastic. These 2 are dead. I'm just going to take this guy out now. We'll start with my warrior priest. He's just going to do a power attack, and then I'm going to see if he's still alive. This guy will attack him twice. My combat skill is 50. I get to add 10 to that, but then I subtract 10 to that because of the shield and the -5 to hit. So we got a total of 39. That's enough to hit him. We did 3 damage. He is down to 7. He doesn't have any natural armor at all, or any armor that goes along with him. That was my power attack with the warrior priest. Now we're going to do a regular attack with, oh no, I get plus on this, so 3 plus. He also has that, his sword actually gives him plus to his attack. He's supposed to do D8 plus 2, so he was 7, 6, 5. He's down to 5 hit points. That's fantastic. All right, now we're going to attack with our thief. Let's see how that goes. He's going to roll his first attack. A 13 does 6. That's enough. This guy's dead. We eliminated everybody. Boom, boom, boom. And we got 2 things of bone meal for our alchemist. My team is bonkers awesome. I really didn't think this team would do that well because I didn't have really a frontline fighter, but wow, we really rocked these guys. Now, of course, I think you can see there could be a potential swinginess in this game. Lots of misses in a row could really detriment your party. And remember that one guy attacking, he had frenzy and everything. He's attacking with a longsword. That was a D12. He could have just ripped somebody to pieces with that longsword if he would have got a really good attack in. But lucky for us, he didn't actually do very much damage, which was absolutely none, which is awesome. Here are the 3 enemies we defeated. So we're going to get a total of 160 from here, 80 from here, and 140 when it comes to experience. We do get to roll on the T1 treasure table twice. So we're just going to roll up 2 dice here and see what we get. We got an 8 and a 2, and 8 does nothing, but 2 is 20 coins. Can't go wrong with 20 coins. I'll take 20 coins. We also get to roll up on our T2 treasure table one time. So we'll roll that up and see what we get. We got another 2. We got, what's this? A mundane treasure. I kind of almost like the coins better, but we'll take the mundane treasure. Why not? And that's going to be it. We also get a couple parts based on the giant rats. Normally, whenever you kill 3 of something, you can potentially get a part, but he actually has treasure of parts. So we're going to get 2 parts for our giant rats. We'll roll 2 6-siders and see what we get. Oh, they're 10-siders. 10-siders. Roll 2 10-siders, see what we get. We got a 6 and a 4. We got blood, and we got nails. We'll put those down on our alchemist sheet. The last thing we get to do is see what our mundane treasure is. We'll draw the top card and see what we get here. We have gotten ourselves we got arrows. Well, that doesn't really help me. Most of the arrows are broken and useless, but you managed to find a few that will do. Well, I can't do anything with these. I got 5 arrows. All right. Well, they don't weigh anything, so I might as well carry them around. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually start using a bow. With that, our characters can make it back to the surface. I'm not going to do any rolls. We're just going to go back to the surface. We were able to take out the second part of the quest. Let's see what happens to our brave adventurers. The aftermath of our adventure states that Jarl listens carefully to the stories told by the adventurers, inquiring especially around Ulfric and his reanimation as an undead. Yet, there seemed to be no evidence as to why he had come back. Once he has heard it all, he appraises their skills and begs them not to spread word of what happened, as it may cause panic in the city. He also promises to put in a good word for the party should they ever need it. At this point, we will be able to go back to Silver City, and we can do anything we want in Silver City. I mean, remember, we don't actually have a lot of money. We do have enough to go up a level, so all our characters can gain a level and gain what we were able to get for those levels. But we're going to do that in the next video, and I'll be asking my Patreon to help me out when it comes to leveling up our characters going forward with the League of Dungeoneers. We're able to make it through our second quest, and funny enough, this one felt a little bit easier than the first one. But of course, a lot of it does come down to dice rolls and wandering monsters, or even things that happen inside the dungeon. We got pretty lucky on a lot of things, and the monsters actually just ran right up to us, and we were able to kind of take them out one at a time. I have noticed that if you have a tendency to be going second in the actual order of combat, a lot of things happen just right at the doorway, which is fine. And it was kind of cool because we had this room we were trying to hold our own in this room as we had 2 different monsters coming at us from both sides, which was kind of cool. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit this bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, the link to my Patreon is also located in the description of this video. Please feel free to join the Patreon if you wish to help. The people that already have are located here on the screen. Thank you so much for your Patreon support. It means the world to me. Those that join the Patreon are able to help me, 1, decide who plays in our games. All of the characters here were chosen by the Patreon, including they also named them as well. And going forward in games like this, I will ask for their help when it comes to deciding how to create our characters and how to level them up and what trees and what skills things we should be going down, so that you really have a chance at being part of the game that we play. Don't forget, every Monday we try to do a live play with Colin from the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we try to do a painting video at least once a week. That's my goal. And you can join those live with me. So there you have it. That is League of Dungeoneers. That is our second quest that we completed. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the table.